Ledley, thanks for joining us. We're here in the heart of East London. Can you tell us about what it was like growing up here and playing football? And also, I'm interested to know, with the Olympics last year, how has that changed the footballing culture in the area, if at all, and what has that done for the area?
Yeah, I've grown up in the area. Football's been a big part of my life. Obviously, as a kid, I just enjoyed playing football, and the kids I grew up with love playing football the same way. And it's great that we had a local cage just outside where my mum could keep an eye on me while I was playing. And there was often groups of 30 or so kids, running around in the cage, kicking each other. But it was great. You don't realise at the time that how important it is just to be out in the environment playing, and it does bring on your skills. Being playing on different surfaces and playing with so many kids around at the same time. So it's great. And with the Olympics, obviously in the area. I think a lot of kids have watched that and have got dreams of following their heroes. Whether it's football or whatever sports it is. I think it's a great thing, for the country and for young kids moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you became a professional footballer, did you realise quite how different perhaps that atmosphere in East London was like to elsewhere in the country? Or?
Well, I think when you reach a certain age, it kind of stop playing in the streets. But from probably the age of 6 or 7 up until maybe 15 or 16, that was an everyday thing for me. Once you get to a certain age and you start to get used to the nicer surfaces, and there's no excuses for making mistakes or any bobbles. But as I've always said, I think it's still an important part for any young kid to grow up learning the street football style.
Yeah.
I think with developments now, kids don't they're often taken to clubs at a young age, and they kind of miss out on playing on the streets and really roughing it and becoming tough. And some of the most skillful players have come from tough backgrounds playing street ball, and I still think it's great.
So Mr. Redknapp didn't have you playing Kirby on the training ground then?
No, that was one of my games growing up. But funny enough, the new training ground, Tottenham Hotspur, they've got a new great facility, and funny enough, the manager has got his own little area it's almost like a cage, where what he wanted to be brought to the club, where whether the kids or the first team, they go in there and play little games, and the ball doesn't go out of there, it doesn't ever stop. There's a netting at the top, so the ball won't go out of play any way. So that's the similar thing, where the ball is often, constantly in play and it never stops. And I think he's got that idea from Portugal and the streets of Portugal. So it just goes to show that it's still around it's trying to come back in with certain managers. They're trying to bring it back, and they realise how important it is.